Mabuhay Manila, this is Aishadel from ManilaShaker.com, and this one is the newest and latest in the Realme number series, the Realme 7. And the big question is this still a gaming-centric phone like its predecessor? Let's find out here in our Realme 7 gaming review. So the first thing is, it is now backed with a large 5000 mAh battery with a 30W fast charging for more gaming experience, as it is powered with a more powerful Helio G95 compared to its predecessor. Now the screen boasts a 6.5-inch IPS LCD, and upon deep diving into its capabilities, we found some upgraded and added features as well. And if you want to see our full review, you might want to check the description box below for the links. Now after showing you the specs, these are the battery settings, and if you will notice, there is this super power saving mode that when enabled will turn into a simple and power saving home screen to better improve the battery performance. But not just one feature in this phone. Now as you can see, we will first start with 100% on its juice, and then we will enable performance mode in the battery settings and competitive mode in the GameSpace app. This is for better yet effective and improved capability and performance. This is our opportunity to test benchmarks as well, so let's run a couple of benchmarking tests. Now this is the benchmark result for Antutu, Geekbench, and 3D Mark. After some benchmarking and after 35 minutes, the battery went down to 92%, which is good because we are currently in high performance mode. Now we are all set, let's run the first game, PUBG Mobile. Recommended settings are in HD plus high, and this is the max settings available, and landing on high graphic volume maps like these shipping containers, it rendered the structures easily with no lags and frame drops at all. There are no drastic and sudden frame drops happening for now, and we recorded 30 FPS with 98% stability, which is pretty impressive already. The game is stable even when fighting against the enemy. The CPU temp peaked in just 55 degrees Celsius. Now since that is the max available settings, we will use the GFX tool to boost the graphics quality to better test the capability of its chipset. And there's an option here to enable 90 FPS, which is perfect for our 90Hz screen. So we maximize the settings using the GFX tool and with 90 FPS enabled as well. Yes, we are now running PUBG with 90 FPS, and surprisingly it is somehow stable, though the device grows a little hot. So disclaimer, we don't recommend using the GFX tool, but for you to know the capability, you can't differentiate the smoothness, but we are running with at least 70 to 80 FPS with 90% stability. This means we will experience a lot of frame drops, especially when the device heats up. But lowering the settings down to the lowest possible or HD graphics while still enabling 90 FPS, the game is now pretty stable. We are currently at 86 FPS with 95% stability, and it is super smooth. The game's animation and the motion is pretty satisfying, and the CPU temp is just 58 degrees Celsius. Next on our list is Mobile Legends. The recommended settings is in high, and we can't enable ultra settings, but we have a high frame rate mode. And as you can see, all resources are already downloaded. Now testing ML with high and HFR mode off, the game is stable at 30 FPS with 100% stability. No sudden frame drops even in clash fights. And now turning on HFR mode, the game is still stable and lag free. We are currently peaking at 59 to 60 FPS with GPU usage no more than 50%, means that it is pretty stable. As you may know, we are running the game in 1080p resolution. This means that it required more processing power, and as you can see, the CPU and GPU can easily handle the game right now. Our temperature is just 47 degrees Celsius. We also tried to play other MOBA/RTS games like Vainglory and Heroes Evolve. These games are stutter-free and stable on this device. Update on our battery, 82% in 1 hour and 12 minutes of screen time. Is this a good performance? Yes folks, because we are currently using the full potential of this device because we are in high performance mode. Next, we have Asphalt 9. The device recommends a default quality, and testing it is pretty good. There are some hiccups in the game but not that unplayable. We recorded 30 FPS with 97% stability. Not in every game, but 3% stuttering in every 5 run. And as you notice, there is some motion blur happening in the scene, but it is still in incredible quality. This is the power of the new chipset equipped in this device. It makes everything in this game look immersive. Now on high settings, we get an average frame of 29 frames with 98% stability. The CPU temp is at 46 degrees Celsius. And again, we're running the game with 1080p resolution. Next up, Black Desert Mobile. The game's recommendation in this device is medium plus 20 FPS, though 20 FPS is a bit choppy, so we bump it up to 30 FPS with max resolution, and the game is pretty stable and stutter-free. It has 30 FPS with 99% stability. Bumping up the settings to maximum with max FPS, we get an average of 58 FPS with 99% stability and even stable at towns and dungeons. The temp is just 51 degrees Celsius, which is not bad, and the panel temp isn't warm at all. Now let's try to run some MiHoYo games. First is the Honkai Impact 3. This is a heavy game if some of you don't know, and we are in high quality already, which the game recommends. But upon playing the game in 60 FPS at max settings, we experience sudden frame drops running the level. We have at least 54 FPS with 95% stability and still playable though, but if you want to experience smooth and stutter-free gameplay, we suggest lowering the settings to medium, but 60 FPS remains in combat. And the game will have more stable gameplay at 59 FPS with 98% stability, which is already great. The game is smooth and enjoyable. Temperature is just 55 degrees Celsius. Next game is Genshin Impact. This is a new game from MiHoYo developers, and this has stunning graphics, and thanks to motion blur, the game's visual is so stunning to look at. We are currently at medium by default with motion blur turned on. The game isn't as stable as 100%, it stutters when in an open world as it loads faraway graphics. But fighting against enemies, the game is pretty stable with 30 FPS, 720p resolution, and 95% stability. Why 720p? Well, the render resolution is in medium, so we conclude that it lowers the resolution down, and it is visible in the game that it is pixelized. Now bumping up the games to maximum settings, it is still playable at 58 FPS, 1080p with 94% stability. We still experience stuttering, and just so you know, this is a new game with our new chipset. So performance isn't stable and needs optimization in both the game and the chipset. But it is nice to see a game with good graphics and stunning visuals run on this device. After 3 hours of gameplay, the battery reduced to 55%, and that is a nice battery performance as it has a 5000 mAh battery, and with high performance mode and competitive mode turned on with 90Hz enabled. And as for the battery tests, here are the results. As for charging, we have at least 1 hour and 8 minutes of charging time from 0 to 100%, which is 3 minutes higher than advertised, and that's not bad. And that's the gaming review of the Realme 7. The performance is great, and with a price of 14,990 pesos, this phone doesn't offer itself as just gaming powered, it offers standout camera quality and camera features. This device is not only a gaming centric phone, but also an overall day-to-day device. To prove it with our full review on our website, the link is in the description box below. So thank you guys for watching, I hope you like our review. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more upcoming content. And also don't forget to visit manilashakir.com for more tech news, reviews, and comparison of the latest device. Again, this is Ashidel, and mabuhay, Manila!